Welcome back. In today's video, I'm going to take you through my whole journey through the entrance exam process, and I'll be sharing my experiences, of course, through how I got to do my entrance exam and how I got to pass through my entrance exam. So basically, an entrance exam is like a test to evaluate if the university will accept you and if you have the required knowledge or the minimum requirements to join the university. So I'll be talking about two of the schools which I had chosen, which my first choice was the University of Debrecen, and the second choice was the University of Simawais. So after the nomination process, after I was nominated, I received an email 2 to 3 weeks later that I am required to do an entrance exam, which will entail both oral exam and a written entrance exam. So this is pretty much similar to most of the universities here in Hungary, given that the University of Debrecen and the University of Simawais are one of the best universities here in Hungary. So basically, I got the invitation from the University of Debrecen first, which required me to do both of them, but most of the schools also require only the written or the oral. So, and the main aim of the oral test is to check on your English proficiency level, as well as your knowledge which you applied in your entrance exam. So after I received this email from the University of Debrecen, they gave me a date which I had to do the exam. But apart from the date, they also sent a sample test or a sample questions of what to expect in the entrance exam, which was a pretty which would make it pretty much easier. So I had specific points or topics to revise for, and I had to choose between between two subjects. I had to choose between three subjects, which among the three subjects it was mathematics, chemistry, and biology. So among the three subjects, you have to do two of them, of which mathematics is compulsory. So they gave me mathematics and chemistry, but I said I cannot do chemistry since I'm not that very good. After checking the sample test, I told them I would prefer to do biology and mathematics. So mathematics was compulsory, so I could only choose biology apart from chemistry, which in biology I know I'm pretty conversant with biology. So they agreed. So if you are there and they gave you some subject that you see that you cannot succeed that much, please, you have a choice to express yourself and say that you're not good at chemistry or biology, but mathematics is compulsory, and they will interchange, they will switch between the two. Of course, this might differ depending on your course or on the school. So at the University of Debrecen, they accepted me to do mathematics and biology. So they set me sample questions to these two subjects, and this made my revision pretty much easier. And I would also advise you to look really keenly on those questions, revise, since as for me, I had not seen most of those topics, but I had to research and ask from my friends who have done such mathematics in depth, since and some of the topics there I had never actually seen some of the questions that were in the sample questions, and that's why I feel like it was a good thing that it made me familiarize with the questions earlier enough before the entrance exam. So I would advise you to start as early as possible to revise for this test. And if they don't send you, you can always find these sample test and questions in the university's websites. For example, the University of Debrecen has an entrance exam matters in the website, and there you can download or the entrance exam or the sample test for all these subjects, so depending on the subject they gave you. So after that, after submitting the exam, which I did in the online in the e-learning module of the University of Debrecen. In this module, the exam was pretty much familiar from the sample test, so of the sample questions, and only the numbers or the wordings changed, but luckily it was multiple questions, so I could calculate and then choose the correct answer. But during the exam itself, you had to switch on a camera so that you could not do some fishy business. Although I don't think they were really strict with this, because I got to move around the house trying to check for the strongest internet connection area. So, but nothing happened, so they didn't notice that I was moving, or but I was not cheating, of course. But I finally finally succeeded. Mathematics test, I got 70%, of which I had to get a 65% to get accepted. So for biology, also it was 65%, but I got 80%, which was a really nice mark, and that means that I had already passed my written entrance exam. So I also received another email that congratulations on passing on your written exam, that I'm expected to also do an oral interview or an oral exam a few days after the entrance exam. So they gave me like a difference of 3 days, and then they gave me another day or another invitation to do an oral interview, which was on Zoom. So this was pretty simple, or pretty, basic. So basically, I was preparing for mathematics to be asked also in the oral exam, but unfortunately they changed and they asked biology. But luckily, I'm pretty much conversant with biology, so I was able to execute my knowledge in biology and answer the questions that were being asked on Zoom by the administrator. So apart from this, they started by asking, who am I? Can I tell them more about myself? Basic interview questions, and why I chose the University of Debrecen, why I chose to study in Hungary, why I chose that specific course. But mostly the main aim of this oral exam is to check on your English proficiency. So if you chose a course in Hungarian, you have to be conversant in Hungarian. If you chose in English, you have to be proficient in English. So they checked my English through these questions, and after this section, they started asking about biology, as I had said, and then they asked about the questions that were in the entrance exam. They went into deeper sections of these questions. They went deeper into these topics to see if I have knowledge, or if I know what I'm saying, or I didn't just do the exam just to pass. So please, I would advise you to go deeper through these topics, familiarize yourself with the subjects, with the subtopics and everything. Revise really well so that you can tackle these questions during this exam, because you won't have time to check or cheat or anything. You are just there face to face. So after this, she told me that okay, we see you are pretty knowledge, or you are pretty conversant with this topic, so you accepted at the University of Debrecen. Congratulations. So after this, I was very, very, very happy, because I had struggled in these 3 weeks to study for all these written entrance exam and the oral exam. So all the stress was over, and I was so happy that after this, they sent me the acceptance letter and the letter of awardee from the Tempest Public Foundation. But before this, the University of Simois also reached out after the University of Debrecen, and they asked me to do an entrance exam, which could only be the written exam. So for them, it was only biology, and I had just to type on the word and then submit through an email. So you can see this is the difference between these two schools. In the University of Debrecen, it was online in their module, the e-learning module, and it was multiple choice questions. But the University of Simois, they were essay questions, which I had to type in my word as a Word document and send through an email. So also I passed my Simois university entrance test, but since it was my second choice, Tempest Public Foundation took my first choice by default. So I got the acceptance letter from the University of Debrecen and the letter of awardee from the Tempest Public Foundation, which would help me to apply for the visa to come here and study here in Hungary. So that was most stressing part of this whole process, the nomination process and the entrance exam. That's why most of you have been asking about the entrance exam. So that pretty much about the entrance exam. You can either do oral or written exam, or some schools even ask for two. So the main aim of the oral exam is to check on your English proficiency and your knowledge regarding the written entrance exam. So apart from that, the oral interview is just like a normal interview, like you go to get employed and the questions they will ask you. So you have to be pretty much conversant with your field of study, which you're going to study in that school, and have clear motivation to study in Hungary and in that specific school. So another tip I would say is about take the sample questions very, very seriously. You'll find most of new things that you have never seen or you have never studied, although people who I came to find here had already done them in my high school, but we never did. For example, in mathematics, we had like sets and sequences which were very deep, but we had not done that in my country, or in my high school. So I had to, know these things and study them really hard. I had to look for people who have studied them and then show me and explain, and of course even used YouTube to revise for this entrance exam. Please do this as your life relies on it, because all of this will also pay off when you're studying here in Hungary. So that's pretty much about it. I hope this video was helpful, and I hope if you have any questions, you can just put them down in the description box, and I'll be really glad to tackle all your challenges. So I wish you all the best in your entrance exam. I wish you all the best in whatever stage you are in this application process of the Stipendium Hungaricum scholarship, and I can't wait to see you in the next video. So if you also like this video, please give it a thumbs up, and if you'd like to see more of these videos, I have a whole playlist explaining all about the Stipendium Hungaricum scholarship, which I'll also be adding this video into it. And if you're expecting more, please subscribe, and we can see each other in the next video. So bye bye, and I hope you have a good application. Ciao.